Alright everyone, it's time for Vermont Issues, episode 83, Drug and Weapon Wars, Alive and Well. There was a 15-year-old who he was driving along with a small amount of marijuana and some metal knuckles, actually. He was from Cambridge, here in this state. And he was arrested for this by the state police. Now, is this really a significant thing? Is that really a significant problem? Okay, small amount of marijuana, well, it's decriminalized here, so that's sort of, I guess if you're driving around with it, they can, like, fine you. They can certainly confiscate it. I'm not sure they should bring someone to prison for it. Are metal knuckles illegal in this state? I'm not sure exactly why they should be, since it's literally nothing more than a bar of metal with some rings on it. But we have this weird problem, and it's like with knife laws in the U.S. In a lot of states, the bladed weapon laws are more stringent than the firearm laws. There was an old common law fixture, it's like, oh, weapons meant to terrorize. I would argue that carrying a bladed weapon openly around is no more terrorizing. Like, even if it's like a machete, it's not more terrorizing than somebody with a sporting rifle. And that's perfectly legal to do. They have reciprocal carry as well in most states. In fact, I think at this point, almost all states. All states. But, yeah, the weapons laws are weird, drug laws are weird. The fact that somebody has a little bit of pot doesn't mean that the weapon that they're carrying has anything to do with the pot. And maybe if he had, like, bales of heroin in the trunk, you could make that argument. Oh, well, he must be dealing, and this is, his weapon for personal defense while he's selling drugs to shifty people. But a small amount of marijuana, how much is this small amount? A couple grams? Or just barely under an ounce? Or is this a small, like a pound bale of pot that he was clearly going to deal to some of his friends or something? I'm not sure that somebody should be, especially if they're like 15, why would you put him in jail on something like that? What exactly, I mean, if he had a hunting knife in his car, that wouldn't, I guess, be immediately connected to, well, he had a small amount of marijuana. Was he driving 100 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone? Unfortunately, we may never know. I think that sometimes people exaggerate situations and assume that they're a lot worse than they are. This is really, if somebody's under 18, for something that topical, wouldn't you think that's sort of like, the cop should just like bring him home, give him a stern talking to, and take the drugs, tell their parents, oh yeah, Jimmy had, a bag of green, and Jimmy had steel knuckles, so, you might want to have him talk to the school resource counselor or something, so that he doesn't end up on a troubled path of crime. That's usually going to be bullshit too, but just to keep up appearances. It's like people, if they have some heroin or crack, and they're addicted and stuff, the answer should be rehabilitation, and mental health in some cases plays a role as well in a more general sense. Now, you don't want to put them in a gulag for being addicted to drugs. It's not going to cure them, number one. It's a lot more expensive, number two. Number three, I at least term it as unethical. I think there are better things that our state police can deal with, because the state government wastes their time and puts them potentially in dangerous situations with all of the lower level enforcement that it does. Now, really, is there really a victim? Is it a crime at all for somebody? They have a weapon that they apparently were not actually deploying at the time. They didn't go, punch somebody, and then a little bit of pot. Well, honestly, even if he was smoking the pot in his car, honestly speaking, it's not going to be the greatest public health concern. I've seen people smoke weed and then drive. I don't condone it. I don't think it's a good idea. It still intoxicates you. But probably going to be able to drive better than somebody who said, oh yeah, I had like a six-pack, man, it was great, and then I went out for a joyride. Yeah, they're probably going to crash and wrap themselves around a tree quicker than somebody who's smoking their pipe while driving. Biggest concern there would be like similar to tobacco smoker, like, light up and the cherry falls off in your lap. Oh shit! And then of course you weave off the road or something. I'm not sure that we need to be enforcing such bullshit. I think that the police should have better things to do. Our politicians do need to take care of our police. I support the police. I support the police by not wanting to put them in shitty situations, like no-knock raids at 3 o'clock in the morning on someone's home where they might open fire thinking they're getting burglarized. I say the same thing, by the way, with our troops. Okay, yeah, I support the troops. Well, then keep them out of danger as much as possible, unless you have no other choice. They shouldn't be dicking around over in the desert getting shot at and blown up on a regular basis. It's not helping us. It's not keeping us safe. I'm not sure how it keeps us safer as a society to put little Jimmy in jail, 15 years old, because he had a little bit of marijuana on him. I think that's, honestly, I think it's completely ridiculous. That's about all. Peace out.